first graders, good job. Find your seat and wait for instructions.
What's going on here today is really important because it's all about water safety, especially around our pools. As we're heading into the summer months and more kids are potentially going to be swimming or have access to swimming pools, being safe around a pool becomes really critical. We don't want to have any drownings this year. We don't want to see that happen. So, water safety is really important. So I'm really happy to see, Northwest Elementary School recognizing the importance of making sure that their kids, that they want to make sure that those kids who graduate are able to graduate and that they're safe.
We have a water awareness program, and what we've done is a partnership with All Children's Hospital as well as the school board system. We're trying to bring awareness to the community on pool safety. So today what we're doing is we're walking the children. They've had all week to go over some safety tips and awareness tips around the pool, what to do if somebody falls in the pool, and basically bring awareness to teaching them how to swim as well. So they're learning basic swimming lessons, and what we're doing today is we're walking the children from the school up to the local pool at Northwest, and the children are spending about 45 minutes to an hour at the pool. They're learning water safety at the pool, and they also get an opportunity to do some swimming. They have lifeguards at the pool that are doing some instruction work with the children. So those children that don't know how to swim will know how to swim or know how to handle an emergency. Should a family or friend or somebody fall into the pool, they're able to assist by calling 911 and doing some basic water rescue safety.
You will kneel down and pull him in. Give me a volunteer. Come on, baby, right?
Okay. Okay, you two. You ready?
All right, he's drowning. Kneel down. Kneel down. Push it out to him. Push it. Pull it in. Pull him in. Very good. You never go, guys.
Well, when you live in a community that is surrounded by water, whether it's pools, it's the Gulf, it's Tampa Bay, water safety is really important, and it's incumbent on all of us as a community to come together and make sure that our kids are safe, that they know how to swim and take care of themselves, and they know what to do. And these kids are being taught that too, not just how to safely swim themselves, but what happens if a friend of theirs who doesn't know how to swim falls into a pool. What do they do? What can they do to help that friend? So yeah, it's important that the whole community come together in this respect.
You grab the rope, you stay down low and start pulling it in. Grab the rope, and you're gonna try holding on and try pulling slow, not too fast, because you don't want to rip the buoy away from it.
We do offer pool safety checks as a program for the fire department. We'll come out and provide a pool safety walk around, explain to you, checking for making sure your alarms work on the doors, making sure you have proper fencing and gates, and just do a basic overall safety check. So if you're interested, you can call 893-SAFE. That's 893-SAFE.
What an amazing day for a park dedication. This day is special for many, many reasons. This day is not only important to the city of St. Petersburg, important to the surrounding communities, this day is also National Kids to Park Day. So we thought when we were planning this dedication, we couldn't have a better day to dedicate a park. This is such an exciting day for St. Petersburg. It's very rare that a built-out community is able to add a brand new park to its inventory, especially a park of this size. Over 8 acres of parkland. It's unbelievable in a built-out community. Very, very exciting for us. This day is personally exciting to me. This is the location that I started my career with the Parks and Recreation Department over 20 years ago. We ran a before school and after school program here on this site. There are several employees that are working for the Parks and Rec Department. I won't embarrass them by name, but they were actually in our group here as kindergartners and first graders and second graders. So I think that might make me old. I'm not sure. With the community's help, we've been able to design a park that has amenities and activities for all of the citizens of this city, all ages and all abilities. Next, I would like to turn the podium over to our mayor, Mayor Rick Kreisman.
Good morning, everyone. What a glorious day it is out here today, isn't it? Well, I want to thank all of you for joining us here today, and certainly the sun is shining on another great St. Petersburg park. But it's not just a great park. Riviera Bay Park is now the northernmost trailhead for the North Bay Trail, which is a 6.5-mile multi-use path that connects to downtown St. Petersburg. The North Bay Trail is also part of the Pinellas Trail Loop, which is currently 45 miles in length, but will form a 75-mile loop all around Pinellas County. And this was developed as part of the City Trails Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan, which was adopted by City Council in 2003 to improve conditions for bicyclists and pedestrians here in St. Petersburg, something that we're always working on. Now these 8 acres that we're standing on today, they're very special, and we're going to hear a lot more about it, but I'd like to recognize some of the people who are standing or sitting here with me today and were involved in this. And first and foremost, Council Member Jim Kennedy. Thank you. Thank you for your leadership and for helping make today possible. This has been, I think, a dream of Jim's since he started on council, and certainly for all you kids that are here today, this just goes to show you that if you work hard, you can make your dreams come true, and Jim has done that. So thank you, Jim. Thanks to Sherry McBee and Mike Jeffries and our outstanding Park and Rec team. Quite frankly, yes, please. I think we in St. Petersburg are very fortunate to have the best parks and the best Parks and Rec department in the entire country. And this new park is proof of that. Projects like this don't happen without strong partners in the community. And as such, it's important that we recognize the king, Dave Hoover, for all that he's done. City of St. Petersburg leased this property in a joint venture with the Pinellas County School Board, which is an example of the kind of partnerships that makes cities like ours successful. So I want to say thank you to all of the members of the Pinellas County School Board and Peggy for being with us here today. And it really is a great partnership. We in the school board and the superintendent, we're committed to making sure that our schools here in St. Petersburg are not only the best in Pinellas County, but are the best in the state, but are the best in the country, and we're working together to do that. I thank all of you for being here today and look forward to enjoying this beautiful park. Thank you all so much.
Well, good morning, and this is beautiful. I was looking at the playground equipment coming in. Boy, things have changed. When we were kids, it was this dark gray steel, and you'd hit your head on it and fall down onto whatever was under you. Now I see you have the fake grass over here that's all cushioned, and it's great. You know, a few years ago, we closed Rio Vista Elementary School, and we heard a lot from a lot of you, and it wasn't all happy thoughts that we were hearing. But I hope you've forgiven us now when you look at this beautiful park that's located here where the school once was. And it was a great school. And that was one of the hardest votes to do, is to close a school, especially when you have a community like this who's so supportive and so involved in their school. But anyway, as the mayor said, we love partnerships, and we are doing this now more and more with cities and the county governments to leverage our resources and bring things together that benefit the community. And especially, our heart is with the kids. And this is such a great place for the kids to come, to play, and to just have a great time. So thanks to the city working with us on this, and we look forward to more collaborative agreements and relationships as we move forward. And I hope the kids enjoy this for many years to come.
Thank you so much. We absolutely could not have done this without our amazing partnership and our joint use agreements with the school board. So thank you very, very much. Next, I'd like to welcome Councilmember Kennedy to the podium, but I need to give him a hard time first. I'm not sure that he got the memo about wearing a suit to a park dedication grand opening. So, but he does have a Tigger tie on, so I guess we'll give him a pass. Councilmember Jim Kennedy.
And Tigger is playing in the trees. So, wow, this is great. So thank you all for being here. Back in 2009, when the school board made the tough decision to close Rio Vista School, in many respects it was the heart of the community here. So we had to come up with something pretty good to replace that. And I think this park is going to fit that bill. I had the privilege of being raised across the street from a 200-acre park up in New Jersey. So this is only a small portion of that, but I hope the children in the area enjoy this park as much as I got to enjoy mine. I'd like to come back to Mike Jeffrey and ask him to introduce specifically the staff that worked out here and created this lovely park. Mike?
Again, there were hundreds of folks who worked on this park and hundreds of Parks and Recreation staff members. Without taking the time to name everyone and to possibly offend someone by missing their name, what I would like to do is I would like to go through a list of all of the parks foremen who worked on this project with their crews, and if we could save our applause for the end of that list, I think we'll be able to move through the program faster. We've got Scott Lene, Parks Operation Foreman, Frank Lacey, also Parks Operations Foreman, Lorraine Coomer, Athletic Operations Foreman, Kathy Markowitz, who is the Horticulture Operations Foreman, and our liaison with the Hoovers, with the community garden. That's a full-time job. We've got Bill Olive, our forestry supervisor, Alfredi Jones, our parks construction foreman, Robert Files, our building maintenance foreman, Tony Morris, our electrical foreman, and then there are several other irrigation mechanics that I want to recognize before we applaud. This particular park has over 19 zones of irrigation, so as you can imagine, the infrastructure and the layout is quite intense in a park of this nature. We've got Larry Reed, Pete Morin, Jesus Morales, John O'Brien, and Sky Brown. So if you could help me and celebrate all of their hard work.
Thank you, Mike. And I don't think the citizens of the city of St. Petersburg appreciate the expertise and the dedication that our city staff has, not only the ones introduced, but our city staff throughout, whether it be water, sewers, whatever it may be. We have an unbelievable city staff that work very hard and dedicated for you all the time. I've got a few special thank yous that I would like to make along with the people that Mike has thanked. This project I had the privilege of working with 3 mayors on and 3 superintendents of the school board. And I'd like to thank specifically Mayor Baker for his philosophy that he put into play as to the quality of life that parks and playgrounds can make in a community. I'd like to thank Mayor Foster for his support and basically giving me carte blanche with city staff to do whatever we needed to do to make this thing happen. And I'd like to thank our current mayor, Rick Kreisman, for his forethought on voting to create the Wiki-Wachi Fund, and for him joining to cut the ribbon today. I'd like to thank former Superintendent Jansen, who was in office when we started this thought process and communication with the school board, and also Superintendent Stewart, who didn't necessarily want to give land away as he came into office, but it took a little while to warm up to. And ultimately, Superintendent Greco for allowing me to get in front of the school board and make the request for them to give us a lease on this property for 50 years at $1 a year. So fairly generous terms. I've warned them, I don't think they're going to get it back, but you know, we'll see what happens in 50 years or so. I'd also like to thank specifically Linda Lerner, who early on warned her colleagues that to not mistake my potential politeness for lack of perseverance on this issue. Special thanks with some people in city staff. Terry Lipsy Scott, who served as the I'll call her the den mother of City Council, giving us guidance and direction, and she gave a lot of guidance and directions. She also had some influence over the director of Leisure Services and Park and Recs, her husband Clarence, who also was just very, very helpful in this matter. From the policies and procedures of Wiki-Wachi, of working it through City Council, of leaving a legacy of unbelievably well-trained, dedicated Park and Recs people. So although Clarence has retired, the staff that he built behind him and that Sherry and Mike are now orchestrating, it's just an unbelievable staff. To kind of give you an idea of how all departments of the city were involved in this, I specifically want to thank Lori Matway from when she was with, and Lori, it's shown up here, when she was with the, yes. Lori was dual trained from the point of view of understanding not only the school board, but the city. And we spent many times going back and forth to meetings and who can we talk to influence them to come to see this vision. So thank you, Lori. I think Bruce Grimes, with the Director of Real Estate, kind of shows how all departments got involved in this. Bruce did the research to be able to give me the documentation and the history to show a long, long history of the city and the school board working together, but that I was able to come to the school board with a list of times where the city gave the school board land to facilitate what they were going to do, which I think helped influence the school board to give us the 50-year lease to facilitate what we're doing. So it was, but without that type of background and that kind of assistance that nobody really gets to see, but it happens behind the scene.
Yeah,
so
that's why you got the $1 lease.
That's so, but and specifically Raul Quintana, who's the city architect, and he has the ability of having the big vision, but also being extremely detailed to make sure every little thing comes out right. And his direction over this process, bringing it in within budget, is just phenomenal. And he and his staff, once again, just a strong, strong team. I want to once again acknowledge Reverend Harding and St. Petersburg Presbyterian and their congregation in working with us at any point in time when we asked assistance with the parking lot or using the fence or anything along those lines. It was yes, and how else can we help? I want to recognize the neighborhoods. Renaissance, Riviera Bay Homeowners Association, Northeast Terrace Association, all part of this larger community. I'm also going to recognize the Riviera Bay Civic Association and ask the president, Dave Hoover, to come up. Dave has promised that he is going to keep his comments to 1 minute, and I am going to stay by the podium to see if we can enforce that promise. And before we bring Dave up, I'd like to introduce Representative Dudley. And there is some family resemblance to the other Dudleys and the many, many Dudleys that populate our town. Prez?
You're on 30 seconds. I'd just like to express how grateful, this is the best thing that's ever going to happen in this area. And words can't express how grateful I am for all of city staff that worked on this. Jim already, Councilmember Kennedy, already mentioned to everybody that I was going to mention. But anyway, what I'd like to do is I just want to know whether you want to name it this or that. But most of all, I really want to thank Councilmember Kennedy, Jim, for all his hard work on this. Thank you.
There was one problem that we ran in with Dave's suggestions of names. There's something in the city ordinances that require parks to be named only after deceased people. So 50 years or so is fine, you know. At the next lease, that'll work out. And before we get to the cutting of the ribbon, let me acknowledge my family. My wife Norma, my daughter Megan is here, my sister Rosemary, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, a whole bunch of family help. And I've got some people that it's really dedicated to over here, James, Gracie, and Tristan, some of our great nieces and nephews. And a grandson on the way, Ryder James. And Mr. Hoover thinks it would be wise for him to also thank his wife, Donna.
For putting up with me.
And we thank Donna for keeping Dave in line as much as anyone possibly could. With that, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for sharing this opening. And Mike, all yours.
Thank you. I forgot to mention it, but I do need Councilmember Kennedy and the King to stay afterwards. There's a contract that I have that they can no longer ask for any special favors or any special. Now that we've dedicated the park, it's over. So I'm wondering how many phone calls and emails we'll get from these guys now that we've dedicated. We've been very attached at the hip since this. There you go. All right, without further ado, I'd like to offer our VIPs an opportunity to walk over to the ribbon. And what we'll do, we've got our gold scissors. I will do a countdown, and we will officially dedicate the Riviera Bay Park. Thank you. Are we ready?